The closing stages now of omloop Hepnewsblad, 14 kilometers to go. The iconic climb of the Kapelmuur has been dispatched and is behind us. We still have the Bosberg to go. The situation on the road, we've got the American Matteo Jorgensen clear and solo for Team Visma Lease Bike. But the race has compacted. He's come back together in the last few kilometers, and he now has only a slender lead, 10 seconds on the group just behind, which has swelled with the addition of the man in white from UAE Team Emirates, Tim Wellens. Also in this chase group, teammates Christophe Laporte, Wout van Aert and Arnaud Delis. But there are a lot of riders not too far behind. We could see this group swell. I tell you what, Brian, this is not a foregone conclusion at all. And it could be that Visma Lease Bike have to rethink how they play this.
Yeah, it could be backfiring on them, of course. If it all comes back together, it's still Wout van Aert is strong enough to kind of win a sprint in the end, but so is Arnaud Delis. It's because when you put a rider down the road, you know, and you do kind of start sitting back a little bit, the group behind kind of crept up, didn't they? They really rode into the bottom of the Muur de Gerresbergen or the Kapelmuur. But the longer this man stays out, there's not going to be any reaction from Wout van Aert and Christophe Laporte. I was really surprised. I thought they would have gone across to him because they would have been in a far better position. Whether they're waiting for the Bosberg now to go across, but while they're sitting on this group, I think it helps the riders that are behind, because here Tim Wellens does a turn, looks around, slows up a little bit. Arnaud Delis slows up a little bit. Not far behind him, there's a group about 6 or 8.
Yep.
Then there's another kind of 12 just behind. We could see a sizable group here. If Jumbo-Visma has to be very careful here.
Yep.
Visma Lease Bike, and I think they have to send a rider across to Jorgensen, because I don't think Jorgensen is going to solo this all the way into the victory.
Yep, it's a tough one. What he does have in his favour is that tail crosswind, and the wind turns into, well, it's at the moment it's in his back. It will take him all the way up the Bosberg, and then it'll be a tail crosswind for the last section. A brief little left-hander into the headwind before we swing into the finish, finishing straight in Ninova. But right now he's got a slender lead of 10 seconds. But on the climb of the Bosberg, it's going to be hard to keep this one going. It looks as if that group is going to be joined, but now we are on properly the climb of the Bosberg. What has Matteo Jorgensen got? He knows how to pace himself. He's a real rider that wants to develop himself. He's a man about details. He knows how to pace it, but he looks to be he's in a little bit of distress. Wellens right now just looks like he's got a little bit more force in his legs, a little bit more power here.
Well, I said about half an hour ago, Matt, where are Team UAE, Team Emirates, and you know they're here now. They've been quiet. You know, they're in the game here. You're now seeing this group coming up, about 20 riders now. It could still all come back together.
Yep. It looks like it's Garcia Cortina on the right-hand side. The Spanish rider. We've not heard or anything from him today. He's jumped across the down. It definitely is Garcia. We've got a couple of good options. Tratnik as well has had a good season so far. So strong.
They've still got the numbers, haven't they?
Well,
Stefan Kung.
Yep, the gap just falls shortened here a little bit, but definitely Jorgensen is being caught. He might be caught by the top of the climb. And just look at the body language of Wout van Aert on the wheel of the Spaniard. Looks to be on the limit here. Don't think they can do anything about this. The race is coming back together. Brian, what a finale here on the Bosberg.
I did not think that. I thought it would all explode in that climb, and it did. But it's all coming back together. Now we're over the top of the Bosberg. It doesn't really kind of go downhill. It kind of flattens out. But Garcia Cortina for Movistar in the blue, bringing it all back. I just didn't think. I felt for Jorgensen there. I felt that he just didn't have the power. He did the right thing, of course, but he just didn't have the power to see this through to the end. And all of a sudden, from what we thought was a parade from Visma Lease Bike, it's now opened the door to a lot of different scenarios.
Indeed, we're just bringing this little group together as well. Stefan Kung in the blue. Dylan Tjerns has managed to get in that front group. There
now
is
Van Aert goes.
Van Aert's gone, but he's straight on this far section, and straight on his wheel is Garcia Cortina. Latching on the wheel, looks behind. He's got the Spaniard with him. And also trying to get across the gap is Dylan Tjerns in the blue of Israel Premier Tech, trying to pick out some of the names in this group. It looks as if we've definitely got Matej Mohoric in this group towards the back as well. So and Nils Pollitt just coming across, a teammate of Tim Wellens for UAE.
Yeah, he's trying. Dare I say it? You know, Visma Lease Bike can still win this, but what about Tratnik?
Yeah, go
I mean,
Tratnik long. You wouldn't want to leave it to a sprint for Tratnik. They're going to have to think about how they do this one. This has got complicated. An attack by Laporte, but he telegraphed that one, Brian, didn't he? Straight through the middle, accelerating away. Or perhaps because there's a group there and there's a gap to the back, they've still got a numerical superiority because they've now got Tratniks. They've got 4 in that front group of about 12, and there's not actually much left of the peloton. Another 15 or 20 riders coming behind.
No, but, you know, we get a small group here. Squeen's still up for the fight. Wellens, I think he's just glad to be back in it. Stefan Kung, we thought it was all over for them. Dylan van Baarle, last year's winner, still in there. But I think Tratnik has had a relatively easier ride than most, just sitting kind of blocking. And again, we talked about the French haven't won this race. Slovenia haven't won this race either.
Here we go. It's another Belgian, Tim Wellens, forcing the pace at the front. The European road race champion, Christophe Laporte, tries to cross the gap. Tom Scoynes, he's had a great day today, dragging everybody else back in contention. I forgot about Dylan van Baarle last year's winner. That actually makes it 5 Jumbo Lisa bikes in this group now. So the European champion, the Dutch champion, and then we have Tratnik, Jorgensen and Wout van Aert. This is the chasing group, 9.5 kilometers to go now. This is going to be a thriller, trying to pick out some of the fast men in this group. All of the climbs have gone now, Brian. It's a pretty flat run into the line now. No real opportunities from a climbing perspective to go clear. A Tratnik accelerates away.
Yeah, this is what we were expecting, weren't we? I think it's Niels Pollitt realises the danger here. This is a man that's not been in the front. He's been following the moves the whole time, and Tratnik, the form he's got at the moment, very capable of delivering the win for Visma Leasebike.
Well, Tratnik goes clear. Pollitt looks like he's going to join him. We've got Slovenian and a German out in front. The former German champion transferred across from Bora. Remember, a previous runner-up in Paris-Roubaix. And Tratnik, well, he's maturing like a fine wine. Primarily rides in the service of others, but right now has been given a big opportunity, and they are moving clear, Brian. 8.7 Ks to go. No reaction behind.
Yeah, we're just starting to see it now from Decathlon. They've got a couple of options, but yeah, difficult times for a lot of these teams.
Omloop Het Nieuwsblad is drawing to a close. What a race we've had. That 6-rider group containing Wout van Aert has been brought back. Jorgensen tried to go clear. He was brought back just at the top of the Bosberg. The race has reformed, coalesced, and the 2 riders emerging from the chaos, from the melee, are now out in front with 8 Ks to go. Numerous attacks from behind, but out in front now is Niels Pollitt of UAE Team Emirates and Jan Tratnik of Team Visma Leasebike. And when we started the day, Brian, we did say they're a team of options, and you know, even Affini, we don't think he's here now, but it wouldn't surprise you looking at that start list if any one of those riders won this race, and that's the difference here, isn't it?
Yeah, we're inside the last 8 kilometres now, Martin. I really don't think that Visma Leasebike are in the box seat here of guaranteed to win. You know, the second group here now coming back together. And the reason why they're riding, they've got Delay in here. Delay could still win this. So you've got Lotto Destiny. You've also got Lido Trek, and I think Jonathan Milan. I don't know if he's still here, but I know there's 2 riders in front of Niels Pollitt and Tratnik. But with the efforts of Lotto Destiny here, they've got Arnaud Delay in this group here. If they get to the front of this group, they can still bring it all back. And we could see a sprint victory of, what, about 30 odd 40 riders now. So it's still not a guarantee. Just when we thought all day, and we've been talking about it, Visma Leasebike on paper, the strongest team here. They've been dominant throughout. I think they've lost their dominance here.
Yeah, this is absolutely fascinating. It really, really is. And moving through to the front, I think it's Oliver Naassen on the front now, the former Belgian road race champion in that new blue, white and black of Decathlon AG2R. But out in front, well, look at Niels Pollitt. 2 very different sorts of riders, Brian, but 2 riders that generate a lot of power very efficiently out in front at the moment. And as you were saying, relatively speaking, fresh legs. They've been sat in the group, not done any chasing because they've had riders up in front, and have now gone clear. And they've built a lead of 17, 18 seconds now, Brian. This is looking good for the Pollitt-Tratnik duo.
I'm out in that one. I really do think that, you know, this could come back together again. I think we could be seeing a sprint finish of this group. 17 seconds, not a lot. It really depends on Tratnik. If Tratnik rides with Pollitt, we know that Pollitt can sprint a little bit. So can Tratnik. you never guaranteed the victory. So what do the two teams in front do, UAE Team Emirates and Visma Leasebike? Are they willing to risk it to go to guarantee first or second? I think the numbers are here for Lotto Destiny. Look at them. There's three towards the front, another couple towards the back. I really do think that this could come down to a sprint, and I was not saying this with about 30 kilometres to go.
No. I think I didn't challenge you either, Brian. I thought it looked as if it was going to be. There's a sense of the inevitable, wasn't there?
Jens on the bike, he's at the race. He thought, right, the winner's going to come from these six. No, how things have changed, and I just think that maybe that confidence, maybe Wout van Aert was overly confident and has ran out of steam a little bit.
Yep. He certainly looked like he was struggling a little bit to hold on to the pace of Arnaud Delis. It is Victor Campenaerts. They've got some real firepower, and they've been joined by the squad of Uno X Mobility, suggesting that they've got Rasmus Tiller, maybe even Alex. And Tiller can finish pretty fast, so they've put riders on the front. I haven't seen their other fast man, of course, Alexander Kristoff, but there are several other quick riders in the mix. Sudar Quickstep as well. They've got Yves Lampard in the mix as well. You can just see him sat on the wheel now of Matteo Jorgensen. Previously, the Dylan van Baarle just sat in front of the American. 14 seconds as Jasper de Boist and the rest roll through. Campenaerts sat on the wheel of de Boist at the moment, so it is Lotto Destiny riding in pursuit of our two leaders. But they've built their lead to 17 seconds. What you can't, although they're riding hard behind, you can't underestimate the raw power of this combination. You know, the diminutive figure of Jan Tratnik, but ridiculously efficient, a great time trialist too, and just the raw power of the man in front. Look at that. You can just get a sense of the kind of punishment the bike's taking as he's pushing that power through every single pedal stroke. Yeah,
when you turn left here, it just rises up ever so slightly for a few hundred metres, and then it's pretty much downhill all the way to the finish.
Yeah, with that tailie as well.
So it's Lotto Destiny have taken it on. I think if there's anybody else here just looking behind Yves Lampard, I think there's a few team managers sitting in the cars thinking, we never thought this would happen.
Yeah.
Would anybody think that we're going to see a sprint finish to the end? Of course, you know, still two riders in front to be brought back, but I don't think, I really do not think that they would put all their trust in Tratnik against Pollitt. It's a bit of a risk.
I was going to say, 4 kilometres to go now. Pollitt, the former German road race champion, now riding for UAE, having moved across from Bora. We're going to get a quick reaction, hopefully, from Jens Voigt. We're in the last 4Ks now, as the former world hour record holder sits on the front. Victor Campenaerts, another massive engine trying to drag things back, but it's holding steady at 16 seconds. What a thrilling finale. Down to Jens on the moto.
Slow. We just passed the first two riders. If you can still see him back there in the camera. It's Nils Pollitt for Germany, Jan Tratnik. Me as a German, I'm so happy for Nils Pollitt to be out here. I hope he can pull it off. He is normally a little bit of a better sprinter. And we have to go to the finish line now. Back to the commentators.
Thank you very much indeed, Jens, your final dispatch of the day. But as you were saying, Brian, 3Ks to go, but it's 3Ks that are going to be around 45, 50k an hour. Very quick. You can see the road is dropping, but 15 seconds. They're holding them steady, but there's still a lot of firepower on the front. Team at Visma Leasebike are doing what they can to block Matteo Jorgensen, who went clear and was looking good potentially for the win. Tired on the Bosberg. That momentum from behind that came by a very impressive Ivan Garcia Cortina. Watch out for him. He's a very fast rider. There's two Movistar riders in the mix, but with 2Ks to go, Brian, they've got to catch him. 16 seconds, look at the speed, 61k an hour. Can Pollitt and Tratnik pull this off?
Yeah, it's still going to be a difficult one. We saw just before here that you know, Tratnik flicked the elbow and Pollitt's hesitated. They're starting to think about the win here, and you know that they're coming behind and they're coming very, very quickly. So 2 kilometres ago, Tratnik, Pollitt, I didn't think they would have thought they were in a position to win. Like Jen said, you have to think that Nils Pollitt's got a very good finish, but they're still coming behind. They're giving absolute everything. Jasper de Boist is here, Victor Campenaerts. It's going to be a close one, Matt.
It certainly is. Some other pretty fast men, Dries de Bont in the mix as well. There's at least 3 riders from Decathlon, AG2, Bora Hansgrohe also represented. I can see Mike Turnison, a man that won a stage of the Tour de France in a bunch sprint. Remember, there's a lot of fast riders behind. 12 seconds, the gap has dropped. 1,600 metres to go as the man from Ljubljana rolls it. His body super still as he gets low and tucked, tries to punch a smaller hole in the air as he can. Could this be a win for Tratnik? Could it be a win for Pollitt? We've still got 1,300 meters to go. Pollitt tracking Tratnik now, but the gap is cutting down. They're under the Flamme Rouge. What a race this has been so far, Brian. Omloop Het Nieuwsblad with 1,000 meters to go isn't over yet.
It's not over yet, but they can't mess around. Dylan van Baal comes round the corner, so does Tom Squinch. I think the reason and behind, I think they might hang on. We're getting very close to the finishing straight now, so Niels Pollitt leading this one out. Tratnik, could he be the first Slovenian winner of this race?
Well, Pollitt continuing to drive hard on the front is essentially towing Tratnik to the line, but as we heard from Jens Voigt, perhaps Pollitt's got the bigger engine. We shall see, but be given an armchair right now as we come into the finishing straight here in Ninnova. The finishing straight opens up, 400 meters to go. Pollitt takes a look over his shoulder, the man from UE Team Emirates. The win is going to be between Niels Pollitt, the former German road race champion, and Jan Tratnik from Slovenia. This would be either one of these riders' biggest win of their career. It is Tratnik on the left-hand side. Tratnik goes a shake of the head from Pollitt. Tratnik is going to take a win. What a superb performance by the man from Ljubljana. It is Team Visma Lisa Bike in the form of Jan Tratnik, who wins Omloop Het Nieuwsblad 2024. What a ride. What a team. Second for Niels Pollitt, and it looks like it's going to be Van Aert, perhaps, who takes third place. Wow, a breathless race, Brian, and a wonderful finish. An interesting ride there by Pollitt to drag Tratnik in, but do you know what? So happy for Jan Tratnik. What a victory.
Yeah, Niels Pollitt, he wanted the chance to win. He didn't want to get caught, and you know, that was the thought process behind it. Tratnik been sitting there all day watching his teammates disappear up the roads. He got there himself, took his opportunity. Niels Pollitt went with him, and he couldn't have had a better rider. You know, we thought at one stage they could have had a 1, 2, 3 where they get a 1 and 3 there, but with a rider that only came to the fore within about the last 15 kilometres there. So first Slovenian win ever. I don't think you can quite believe it.
I think you can.
Look, they got the victory in the end, but I just think they were running out of steam towards the end. This man made it possible. I think Tratnik, he would have struggled to do it on his own. But what happened to the chase behind just when they were coming down to touching distance? They came into, 1,500 metres to go, came round the last corner, and it was with 1.2 to go, and it was all over.
I mean, I don't think you can actually fault Lotto Destiny
No,
at all. They gave it absolutely everything. They had numbers there for Arnaud Delis, but we talked of the two riders in that mix.
He never won the sprint, did he? In the end?
No.